Hello everyone, I'm Brian and today I'll be reacting to an attentive, sleepful state. This is a request. I do a request. If you have a request, please leave the title, the YouTube channel, and the link to the video because links sometimes get marked as spam and I don't see those. Alright, so I don't know anything about this. Let's go ahead and give this video a shot. 1970. Whew. CC.
Do we sleep during the day?
Yeah.
Not go to bed, I mean.
Not go to bed.
No, sir. Do we sleep during the day?
Yeah,
The mind is quiet, tired. The brain cells have been active and say, please, I must be quiet. Relax, rest, sleep.
Yes. My brain does it all the
Or
time.
is it a perpetual movement? Perpetual movement in which there is an occasional sleep.
Like naps?
You follow what I mean? The brain and the mind are going all the time, working, responding, challenging, protecting. You follow? Frightened, aggressive.
Like during sleep?
Working. And in the movement of that, the body gets exhausted. The brain cells are weary and say, please, I must go to bed now. Right? But the brain cells and the whole of that is still going on. I should have thought sleep meant the end of that movement, at least for a period. The body says, I've had enough. I'm tired out. Goes to bed. But the brain goes on at a minor key, but still goes on.
Is he saying basically that your brain never truly shuts down? It's constantly active. And what I thought of at that moment was the fact that I did wonder, why do we need sleep? My thought with that was like, oh, we need to recharge like batteries. And someone said, in one of the videos said, no, that's what food is. It's like, yeah, you're right. The calories that you eat, what fuels your body. It's the batteries. It's your gas, basically. Not the other gas, but just regular gas. But no, they say that the scientists are still kind of wondering what you need sleep. The theories is that when you go to sleep, all your short-term memory stuff goes to long-term. It stores it into long-term. And that's one of the theories, I believe. That if you don't go to sleep, you'll forget your short-term stuff. And when you do go to sleep, that's when your short-term memory becomes long-term memory, when it finalizes the whatever it is. But other than that, I don't think, as far as I could, the research that I've done, basically just scrolling through YouTube, just because I'm interested in that kind of weird stuff, is we don't really need sleep, but we need sleep.
Dreams, restlessness, all the rest of it.
And that's what I think. How we get dreams is because of our brain never truly shuts down, so it's constantly still firing those signals in our brain, and eventually some of those signals will trigger a memory, and maybe that's the reason why we get dreams. Again, not sure. Weird.
Now, it would be reasonable to say the mind, the brain, and the nervous system is keeping going all the time. And it is only when the brain and the mind are completely quiet that is sleep. I don't know. Huh?
Is that the
that we don't really sleep as long as we're dreaming and
that we don't really sleep as long as we're dreaming? Now that going to Swami, the three states, wake state, dream state, and the I call it void, but it's the sleep blankness. I'm wondering if the sleep blankness is when we truly, well, the deep sleep, I think. It's where we truly, our brain and our body and our mind and all that is just shut off. Where we're actually getting real sleep, according to what he's saying.
No, sir. No, I'm not saying anything.
Oh, jeez. Dang it.
We're sharing together, sir. I'm not saying anything. I'm not your guru.
Oh, so much for what I said then. Is that what he's saying? He's like, no, I'm not saying anything. He answered my question.
And the mind, the brain, and the nervous organism apparently is in constant movement, right? Even though the body says, leave me alone for a while, but it still goes on inside.
I'm guessing like you pinch
the brain is working, the mind, I don't know if you have noticed it, before you go to bed, if one is awake a little bit, you go over the day, don't you?
No, not really.
You say, I should have done this, I should have done, it tries to put some order.
Maybe, sometimes.
Watch it, sir. It tries to put some order. And the brain needs order, and therefore is going to create order while you're asleep.
That's what I heard
which
so
is
far.
a form of dream. I don't know if you. So brain cell says, please give me order. Don't perpetually keep in disorder, movement. I don't know if you have experimented with all this. So at the end of the day, consciously one tries to put some kind of order. No? Hasn't it happened? Say, but you've gone over the day and say, I should have done this, I shouldn't have done that, it should have been put this way, I should have written the letter that way. You know, we go through all this.
Not all the time, but
that
sometimes.
Is to bring about consciously order before going to sleep. And if you don't do it, the brain is going to do it. And when you wake up next morning, you have a little more order, which becomes disorder by all the noise. So, see from this, extraordinary things takes place. The brain demands order. It is going to get it during the day or during the sleep. It must have order. Right, sir?
Why does it demand order, though?
Now, if during the day there is complete order, you follow it, sir. Try it, do it. You'll see great fun out of this. Complete order, which means no effort. You follow? Order.
Silence.
Yeah. I don't want to use that.
But the silence can only come if there's order. Otherwise,
I don't want to use.
The continuation of the disorder is the noise.
The continuation of the disorder is the noise which stops the silence.
Which stops the silence.
So, silence, order, all right. During the day, then you sleep. What happens? Right, sir? Right? Complete?
Complete rest. Total inaction except of its own.
Complete rest.
No images are built on mind.
But it would seem like it would just be...
Now look, sir, complete rest. A silly mind can be completely at rest.
Silly mind?
But it'll still remain a silly mind.
Well, what's a
I don't know if you're meeting with. order. Silence is one of the most difficult things. If during the day that doesn't come about, the brain cells says, please, I must have order. You have a problem, mathematical or psychological problem. You worry for days and days, fuss around, look at it, and the brain has been working at it. It gets very tired, and during the sleep something takes place, and the next morning you wake up and despite you, I see it very clearly. It has solved it. Right? Haven't it? How? How does this happen? It's so simple, so there's no mystery about it.
I'm still a bit lost. A little bit lost. Or a
During
lot of
the
bit
day,
lost.
you're worried like a dog with a bone. And at the end of the day, the brain says, I've had enough, tired. There is a moment of complete relaxation, rest. Then at that moment you see things differently.
Okay, I think I know what he's talking about now, where is the reason why some people say, okay, look, we've been looking at this for so long, let's just go home, get some rest, and we'll come in with a clear mind. Basically, kind of just like resetting, instead of being stuck in this loop or this tanglement of thoughts that you dug in so deep that you just can't get out of your own thoughts. So you go home, you stop thinking about it, and basically your brain or your thoughts just becomes unwind, and all of a sudden, after having a good rest, you end up thinking, oh, I can see now, I can think clearly now, because you've had rest. I'm wondering if that's what he's talking about.
Now, I shall go on this, please. You must, if you don't share it, I have no fun in this.
At night you're not making any effort. The effort you make causes a lot of power. And at night you're not making an effort, so you're disordered.
Yes, therefore, so that we are saying the same thing. During the day, effort, contradiction produces disorder. At night there is a certain relaxation which brings about order, which again is destroyed the next day. And so this game goes on and on and on and on. And now, during the day there is order, no effort, all the rest of it. I don't know if you do it. If you can do this, you will see what happens. Then the brain goes to bed, goes to sleep. What happens?
He's asking the same questions over and over again. I'm waiting for an answer, but how is it that the day is in order when the day is noise or disorder, or your brain's just constantly running? Now, for me personally, I don't know if the things that I experience are order or disorder. I can definitely tell if there's disorder. I just don't know if there's order there. I don't always panic or think things are in disorder during the day, but I know whenever I do something, and if I don't know if I did it right, there's massive disorder in my mind. I'm just like, should have done it this way, should have done it that way, should I go back and redo it, should I just wait? Oh my gosh, what's going to happen tomorrow? I don't know if, my boss is going to tell me, oh, you done it wrong. I'm like constantly thinking, it's like massive disorder. Even when I try to go to sleep, it's like eating my mind. But for the most part, I know what I have to do, I do it, and it's just necessarily no disorder. I do things right, and it's pretty calm. I mean, yeah. So I don't know if I do things correctly, there's still order, or is there still disorder? I know there's noise, but I don't know even if those noise to me are considered to be disorder, because I understand it. Why do I do this all the time?
Must it have dreams anymore? And don't say no. It's a guesswork.
Sir, the mind works without anything controlling it at all.
Does it work at all?
Just on its own action.
And I said, no, you
No,
know.
I'm not expressing what I'm trying to say, but it's hard to get out because I'm not. But just like things would become very clear as they become very quiet, and this isn't on any action, on anybody making it quiet. There is no person controlling it or making the mind do
So what
anything.
does
It's
that
just
mean, sir?
Things would become very clear, it seems.
During the day you have done it.
During the day?
Yes. During the day you have done all that. You are no longer a slave to propaganda. You follow? You're no longer, all that we've discussed. All during the day you have brought about, mind has brought about clear order, silence, no control in itself during the day by watching, listening. You follow? Attentive during the day. Then at night when it goes to sleep, what happens?
It all goes away?
The mind is completely at rest, isn't it?
Well, all the noise goes
The
away.
brain cells are washed and made clean, right? Then what happens?
Can you remain alert in your sleep?
Huh?
Can you remain alert in your sleep?
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Now there are some people, I don't know if he's talking about this, there are some people who are light sleepers, especially in the military, because the constant threat. I'm kind of a light sleeper, but then again, I don't know. I've woken up with sounds before. And to say that you're alert when you're asleep, kinda, yeah. I mean, and this goes back with Swami's videos as well, where you have the waker, and the dreamer. Those two are separate from each other, but yet if you get pinched in the waker world, somehow that is translated, or that somehow is transmitted to the dreamer world. As a matter of fact, every time I wake up, it's because I have to go use the restroom. number one. So like, and sometimes whenever I wake up, it's like, oh man, I gotta go, but I'm so tired, so I go back to sleep. And then when I end up dreaming that I have to go, I'm just kind of, so far I've been lucky. I haven't not went in my bed. Out of all the times that I just went back to sleep, I will eventually, I'm sure I will, number one on my bed. I hope it never happens, but the way I'm going so far, it might actually happen. But yeah, the thing is that gets translated, and I'm thinking in my dream, where like, oh man, I gotta go, and then I dream that I'm going, and then I think I wake up, or I can't quite go in my dream, and then I'll end up waking up again, saying I gotta, wake up again, like, oh man, I really gotta go, or when I'm about to go, I wake up, I'm like, maybe I should go. So there's that weird, that where the dreamer world and the waker world are kind of connected there. There has to be a connection, even though Swami says they're independent of each other, and the Turiya itself is the thing that's illuminating both worlds. But how does me wanting to go number one in the waker world gets transmitted to the dreamer world? And well, this goes to the fact that, again, I don't know how I got to that, but with the fact that you're still aware even though you're asleep.
The mind then is awake,
Nervous system, yeah.
not asleep. I don't know if you play with it, sir. That is real awakened attention, which operates during the day. I get it?
Okay, yeah, I get it now completely, but the way he's describing it earlier was a bit confusing. I get that. If that's the only thing he was trying to say, I get it.
So sleep, with ordinary sleep, is inattention. And that inattention must produce more chaos in sleep, contradiction, dreams, you follow? Which is expressed during the daytime. The daytime carried over again through sleep. Now, when there is attention during daytime, in the sense we are using the word attention, then sleep is complete attention.
I don't know. How is that?
Right? I don't know. Then sleep is a state of heightened awakening, heightened, what's the word?
Awareness?
Heightened wakefulness.
Okay.
And therefore, that wakeful state in sleep can touch things which during the day it cannot touch. I wonder if you're getting what I'm doing.
Hold on. I gotta rewind that. Sorry, I don't usually rewind, but he went by kind of quick.
During the day it cannot touch. I wonder if you're getting.
Let me rewind that a little bit more. Sorry. And therefore, that wakeful state in sleep
can
touch
things which during the day it cannot touch.
Is he talking about the Turiya here? Which is kind of amazing. Are you saying that Krishnamurti, okay. Are you saying that if the brain doesn't have to deal with the residual of daytime, it is then free, as it were?
It is then free, as it were.
That's right.
To be open on some other level, or in some other way. To be open on some other level. What do you mean by open?
That's right. You see, it's like, oh, it interests you all this. You see, mystery, we invent a mystery. Right? You follow? And all the mystery of the gods and the, fairy tales and all that is a form of mystery in a life that is completely disorderly. And therefore that mystery is an escape. I don't know if you're... Now, when the mind has put order during the day, has order, the beauty of order, the feeling of order, and silence, and no effort. Then, when it sleeps, there is this strange attention, which is without motive, without compulsion,
Is he saying that, oh God, I don't know how to put it to words. Is he saying that when you can finally put everything in order, you can become hyper aware to a degree? Because he's saying that when you're asleep, you're aware, you have this super awareness, but there's, because of the order in the brain, but during the day there's disorder, there's chaos because there's so much going on. But if you can bring that awareness of your sleep to your daytime, when you're awakened, you can be hyper aware
without any contradiction, without any duality. You follow? Inattention, attention. It is completely attentive while he's asleep.
What is the mind attending to while it is asleep?
Whoops. What is the mind attending to while it is asleep?
It is not attending to anything. I know, sir, you don't see the beauty of it.
It's just attentive?
Then like water, sir. Water is water.
That's such a weird explanation. Water's water. Well, I mean, yeah, fire's fire, you know, poop is poop, but what does that even mean, though?
Put it into any vase, into anything, it still remains water. The same thing with the mind. We have so destroyed it. Now, go further into it.
What do you think with the mind?
In that attentive, sleepful state, the mind is uncontaminated. Is
Can we really say it's uncontaminated? I mean, especially once you start experiencing things, the mind has already been contaminated. Or is it because when the mind's not thinking of anything, it is uncontaminated? It is uncontaminated by thought. That one, okay. Because, again, your mind, I don't know if he's the mind, the brain, the consciousness, all that separate here with him or not yet. I don't know if he separated those or if those are all in one. So let's continue on.
in a state of complete innocence, in the sense of a mind that is not being able to be hurt. I don't know if you, and I know this is very important to see this, because innocency is that. The word innocent means that which cannot be hurt.
Was it?
Does not know hurt. During the daytime, the mind is either resisting not to be hurt or says, I am not hurt, is still doing all that, and therefore its order is still very limited.
Okay.
I don't know if you're following all this. And there, in sleep, attention is not attentive of something or about something, it is completely awake. Now, shall I go on to? In that state, there is meditation. Is all this Greek?
Yes. Well, not all,
I don't
but
know, why not? Why isn't it?
it kind of
Yes,
is.
sir, because it's terribly serious, this. You follow?
It sounds like fun. Can you have it as fun rather than serious?
It sounds like fun. Can you have it as fun while being serious? That's all about me right there. It's trying to have fun regardless. If it's serious, putting a little bit of fun into it, because man, life is too serious as it is.
It's fun, sir. This is the greatest joy in life. All that rest, going to cinema, sex, and everything else becomes secondary. Because this, you see, you touch something which is untouchable by a mind that is observing itself as it were in a mirror. There is nothing to observe. So to discover that,
Is it that in a day your mind has an identity and at night it has not? Is that in a day that your mind has an identity and at night that it has not? Let's say no. Because you do recognize yourself in your mind, in your dreams, at night. Assuming night he means, dreaming.
yeah, during the day there is the me which is trying to put order in the disorder which it has created, Therefore, its order is still disorder until that is put in order, in the sense of order which is not brought about by thought, but by observation, which went into all that. Then there is, when that takes place during the waking hours, order, not a fraction of disorder, which means no effort at all, at any level, at any time. And therefore contradiction, all the rest of it. So when the mind has, when there is order when the wakeful hours, and when the body, when there is sleep, the mind then is attentive, because it's so empty, it is attentive.
Because there's no distraction.
And in that attention, it can touch, move, or something which here it cannot do. Therefore, sleep is important. I wonder if
You touched on mystery. Could you go on with that? No, stick with the topic.
mystery. This is mystery. What are you talking about? This is the greatest mystery.
The need for sleep? Or the attentiveness of sleep? What then is the difference between the empty mind and sleep and the empty mind in wakefulness? Ooh.
So, have you ever closed your eyes and sat very quiet, or lay very quiet, having nothing to look at, not even your thought?
Didn't mean to pause it, but that made me think of something. There's this room that's created. I forgot what it's called, but the room basically is there's a couple. I don't know how many different kinds of rooms. There's one room. It's I think it's called sense deprivation room. Deprivation room. Deprivation room. So basically, I think you either can sit in it. I think there might be a room where you sit in it, or there might be a room where you lay in room body temperature water, should I say. Basically the temperature of the water is the same temperature as your skin. And it's padded, so it's completely silent. And because the water is like, it's like very dense, so you're floating on top, you can't sink, but it's also your same temperature of your skin. I've heard some people say that went in there, and one saying that, you know, they didn't know where their body began and ended because everything felt, well, the same. Like, it's very odd because they're floating, they have no weight in this water that's the same temperature as their skin. I've heard someone else say that they can hear their heart, they can hear the blood going through their veins because it's just so quiet. Now, mind you, even if you go into a quiet room, there's noise, there's background noise. You've gotten so good at toning out these noises that in a quiet room, it's actually not even quiet. Now, the sensory deprivation rooms are absolutely quiet. And I think I remember watching a video recently. I forget what the longest person to ever stay in a room, apparently to go crazy after like an hour or something like that. It's really crazy. Like 1 hour or 2 hours was the longest someone could stay in a room. I can't remember how long it was. Or maybe it's longer, maybe 10 hours. I don't remember, but it's very odd, I guess, to stay in a completely silent room. I want to go and experience that kind of room. That'd be kind of crazy. I don't know. Just to experience it, just to see what it's like. I don't know how I got to that, but let's go on. Off to a tangent, but I thought I'd let you guys know just in case. I'm sure I had a point.
The mind looking at itself without any movement of thought.
Without objects.
Without that. You know, all this implies, isn't a game, it isn't an entertainment, it's a tremendous discipline. This. Not discipline of conformity, suppression, obedience, somebody tell you to do this, but in itself there is tremendous watchfulness which brings its own order, both physical and psychological. And without that, just to, you know, play around with all the other stuff is no meaning.
Can the attentiveness of the night that you're describing give us a guide for the attentiveness of the day?
Yes, sir. That's
I mean, that's the whole point he's trying to say here, is to bring that attentiveness that we have at night, because this is complete order, whereas the wakeful hours is complete disorder. So I thought what he was trying to say was to bring that attentiveness, because since it's possible in the night, it should be possible in the day, and when you can do that, you have complete attentiveness, complete order, complete awareness.
I don't know, sir, if you know, functioning from a center and functioning without a center. One is creative, one is not. What is the time, sir?
No.
Isn't
25.
it time enough? Huh?
Oh, hold on, I'm gonna rewind
It's
now.
creative, one is not.
Oh, what's the time? 25:01.
What is the time, sir?
25:01.
Isn't it time enough? Huh?
Isn't it? No.
Because one could go on talking about this. It's
Yeah.
really quite. I can't tell you how extraordinarily fascinating it is. And therefore, tremendous joy in this, which is nothing to do with pleasure. Oh God, yes, nothing to do with pleasure.
Well, you know, people derive pleasure in different ways, so if you're enjoying something, typically that is pleasure, I thought. Anyway, I think. So, okay, attentive sleepful state. If I can remember, he's trying to bring this attentive sleepful state in the wakeful state. So that, is it so that you can have order in the wakeful state? Because there's order in the sleepful state, but not in the wakeful state. You're trying to create order in the wakeful state, but you're still creating disorder. But if you can bring this sleepful, that attentive sleepful state in the wakeful state, you can have complete order. That's what I'm understanding. I thought he was also talking about Turiya, where you have the wake world or waker and the sleeper in the sleep world. So I've only watched a few of his videos, so I'm still trying to understand them. So I'm not quite. I'm sure I don't quite understand them, but I'm wondering if I did understand at least some of what he said. Let me know in the comments, because could watch this multiple times and maybe get a little bit out of it, but maybe because I can't ask him the questions to help me better understand it, it's just gonna be very difficult. And well, of course, watching more of his videos will help me understand him a lot better. Anyway, that's my reaction to the attentive, sleepful state. Krishnamurti. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.